What is up, guys? This is Double Pulse, and welcome back to another Steam Deck video. And in today's Steam Deck video, we're going to be taking a look at Last of Us Part 1, running on the Steam Deck. Yes, this game at launch on PC has been a hot mess, and I want to give you guys my honest opinions, my overall experience playing this game, because I have probably spent about 15 hours playing this game. And I'm only at Billstown, and just to kind of preface, I've spent about a good 8-9 hours of those games of the time tinkering around with settings, dealing with crashes, dealing with other sort of performance issues, and just figuring out what is the best optimal setting to play this game at. Now, I want to just say, is the game playable on Steam Deck? I'm going to just say, I'm not going to sugarcoat it. Kind of playable, because it really depends on what your expectations are of what a playable game is on the Steam Deck is, and what you're really hoping. But even with that, there's still a lot of issues that I think barely makes this game playing on the Steam Deck worth it, at least until Naughty Dog decides to incorporate any sort of patches. So, I have a couple lists of notes here while I kill these clickers in Billstown. Let's talk about the overall gaming experience. As you guys see right here, I am getting probably on average about 28 to 30 frames per second. And it runs okay. It looks like it's playable. And yes, you could say that is, a playable frame rate, I believe, for the Steam Deck. But don't be fooled that there are areas of the game that the game dips into the low 20s and even as low as 17, 18 frames per second. More specifically, the scenes where you're in the rain with Tess at the very start of the game, where you're outside, and it's dealing with a lot of reflective shaders and a lot of little things that that the game needs to run. And I'm gonna be honest, I just don't see how this game is running that bad on this device. I think it just comes down to the fact that it was not poorly optimized. Now, we are probably going to see patches pretty soon that is specifically for the Steam Deck, and it might help with some of the performance. But with that many dips in this game, it really is hard to recommend you go out and buy this game at its $60 price tag. I would honestly say wait for the patches if you're really interested in playing this game on the Steam Deck to see what actually those patches do to fix the title. I have heard that other titles such as Uncharted were dealing with the same things. I don't own Uncharted. I may end up buying it to sort of to test the waters to see how things are with that game. But it's really, for me, I think it comes down to the response time, because as you see, the frame rate in the game scope on that little green line is just all over the place. And it's having a hard time at this point trying to keep up with all the stuff going on, and I feel like that really shouldn't be the case. I think this is one of those titles where they actually turned out and rushed the game, and didn't really look at all its possible issues, which is weird considering that they issued a statement saying they delayed it by 2 weeks, and you thought that 2 weeks would give them more than enough time to fix any issues with this game. But clearly it has not fixed any issues just yet. I am running with the most recent hot fixes, which is the little small patches that they just announced and released on here. But it doesn't obviously fix the issues and remedy them 100%. I haven't personally found that big of a difference yet. The other thing I want to talk about is the high CPU usage on this game. So this game swallows your CPU up up to its entire amount. And for anybody who has had their VRAM UMA buffer size set to 4 gigabytes may have noticed that this game tends to crash on that alone. So for anybody who's went into their BIOS section and decided thinking that changing the BIOS UMA buffer size was going to help, it actually made it worse. And in my case, it actually crashed the game multiple times, because what it's basically doing is telling my Steam Deck to allocate 4 gigabytes of that memory specifically for the GPU, and it doesn't give the CPU enough RAM to run at a better, run at its more, continue running. It creates memory leaks, and it causes a hard crash on my Steam Deck, as all the memory is basically just drained out of this thing. So that's just so far what I've had personal experiences with. The other thing I wanted to talk about is the actual loading time, because the loading times on this game are a problem. The loading times are basically, have been taking anywhere between 1 minute to 2 minutes to load the game, and it feels long. But after that, after it loads, it usually doesn't have any other issues loading it. I will also say, make sure when you first launch this game, if you do happen to buy it, let those shader compiles finish, because a lot of the crashes and stuttering issues that people have been reporting have been specifically probably not letting those shaders load up properly. But does that necessarily save the port? Not really. It just makes things a little bit better, just to let those things ready up. But as you guys see, the game kind of drops to the mid-20s. I don't know if I want to go over and take these guys out. I'm kind of pulling all stealth here. But let's just go in. Let's just go in. Hands, fist on him. Like, the fact that it drops to like 19 frames per second when I get close in combat, or even in other sequences like this, it just shows that it's completely not fully optimized for this game. And lowering the graphics settings to low, or messing around with the resolution, really does not hinder or hamper the experience at all. So I kind of wanted to show you guys like some of the settings that you can turn around to make this a little bit better. If you guys watched if you watched the video by the Fox, I pretty much copied his settings dead on. I have my animation quality set to low, draw distance set to low, medium for character environment models set to medium, and then high texture sampling and anisotropic filtering to 16. All of this stuff, all the lighting settings that take up the GPU space, I just keep them off or low, and then I keep things from here on out to as low or as bearable as they can be. And the reason I do that is because going into your display settings, you're going to want to keep your AMD FSR 2 on about balance. I feel like when you start going into the performance and ultra performance, the image quality degrades too much, and it doesn't really provide you a enjoyable, experience nonetheless. Like, it doesn't actually improve your performance by switching it to ultra performance. So yeah, we're gonna shoot these guys, these clickers. Actually, I'm probably gonna just shiv this guy, honestly. I don't wanna... Well, never mind. He saw me. He saw me. So, the other thing, too, is loading times and shaders. They take way too long, like I said. And should you go out and buy this game right now for the Steam Deck, I am going to say wait a bit. Wait for a sale or wait for patches. because I don't think I can recommend you picking up this on the Steam Deck unless you guys are okay with 23 to 30 FPS on average. Now, everyone's mileage is going to differ. I mean, some people's experience is not going to be the same. Some people have, you know, a better expectation and lower tolerance for frame rates, which is all good. But for me, I feel like it's kind of hitting to the point where it's kind of unplayable. So let's get past this last segment right here, and then I'll close the video off. Well, alright guys, that's pretty much going to be the end of the video. If you guys enjoyed this video, definitely check out some of the other Steam Deck videos that I've made in a playlist. I am Double Pulse. Thank you guys for watching, and I am signing out. And be sure to subscribe for more content like this. Goodbye.